Hey everybody, this is David at BarnYard Bees. If you remember in my previous video, I was talking about our mini mating nukes, our BarnYard Bees mini mating nukes. Well, the one problem that I was telling you about is at this time of year, it can be a little bit tricky to keep the population just right, because if you don't, you're going to end up with this right here. This is a little bitty swarm that's come out of one of our mini mating nukes. And it happens every year when you run a bunch of them and you're trying to run them at capacity without splitting them or without expanding them. If you're trying to just to experiment with a handful of them going through the winter. We experiment with different things like this and just try different levels. Like with these mini mating nukes, we've tried going through winter with them extremely packed. We've tried lightly, and we found that the best success is going through winter when they're pretty well packed, where everything's pretty filled out with both frames, where both of the frames are filled out good, and it's a good combination of at least one frame honey and total. No, it's not going to be like one solid frame honey, one solid frame brood. It's going to be a combination of both within the frames. And it seems like that's when they do the best. But this is going to happen, and it's hard to avoid it. And then the question is, well, what do you do with this little bitty tiny thing that's probably not much bigger than my fist? Well, we experiment a lot. And that's how we experimented with these two frames over the years, and successfully got a few of them through the winter. You know, around about 50-60% at times. It just depends, which is not bad considering there are only two frames of bees. But here's what we got, and here's what I'm gonna attempt to do with this little bitty thing. Okay, now a rubber band, yes, would have been better. I'm out in the field. This is all I had. A string to tie up. I cut out some wax from an old frame that we had sitting outside the hive, and I did all three like this, just temporary, just to hold it until the bees get in there and hold that wax together on their own. Now here's our swarm right here. I don't know what we got. Let's look, see if we can spot the queen. Right there she is, right off the bat. Look, right there on the very top, right there. See her? Okay. Little bitty tiny queen. She's tiny. So let's drop her right in there with that little scoop full of bees. Now in the back you'll see there's a little bitty reservoir that you can put sugar water. So our queen's in there. She'll walk on down. Okay. You can hear them buzzing. We'll see if we can coax the rest of this little bitty teeny tiny swarm in there. I like experiment. I like doing stuff like this. There's not much you can do as far as putting it in a big colony. So you can try experiments like this. I've done experiments where I've put them inside of buildings, put a little pipe going to them to help insulate them. It's worked. It's worked at times. Sometimes it doesn't. It's fun to try, you know. And you can't put these into a big hive. It's not going to do you any good. Look, see them fan? Watch that. That's beautiful right there, watching that. Look at them right here. And just scoop the rest of them in there. There's not much fighting. They're going right in it pretty much. Once we get all the bees in there. You see my hands all cut up and everything. That's not from bees. That's from working out into the campsite, cutting firewood and such, tin. I'm always working out there in the field getting cut up by something. So a few stings is never going to hurt me. But these are pretty gentle. I mean, it's a little tiny swarm. They're flying all around me. See, they're not mean and aggressive yet, but they're teeny tiny. So, but that's what we plan on doing here, just getting them all in there. So we've got the majority. I spotted this when I was mowing. I was going down through here mowing around the bee yard, and I saw that little pile of bees. I thought, oh, here we go. One of our little mini mating nukes, sure enough, is swarming. So they know the queen's in there. See how they're all fanning? And I'll get them in there and close it up, put a little dab of sugar water back here in the back to feed them. Look at that. It's beautiful watching that, watching them fan. They'll all go in there. What I'll do, I'll close it up now and get out of there. You're not supposed to be in the feeder. Just close this little bitty, these little styrofoam coolers, well, it looks like a cooler. Little styrofoam queen mating nukes. They're teeny tiny. You can buy these at BarnYardBees.com if you want. I like the bigger ones. They do work. A lot of people, you can use these for mating queens. So they work good. They're tiny, little bitty things. See it? Watch how they're fanning outside the. They'll go in there. They'll go in there, and we'll give them a little dab of sugar, and that's it. So we'll keep you updated. You know, little thing may make it 2 weeks. The queen, you never know. She may not be a good layer at all. She may be maybe not mated very good. You never know. This time of year, it's hard to tell. But I always like to try to give them a chance. You know, I love the bees, so I give them every chance possible. And if they make it, great. And if they don't, well, at least we tried. That's about it, folks. Don't forget, please help share our videos if you like them. Click on the little bell, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. BarnYard Bees.